Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So today we are from group RCTCS 1433B. We'll be presenting about set F or picking up a sweets. So to introduce with our group member, firstly we have Anwar Faiz, and then Muhammad Danish, and next Muhammad Haris Haikal, and next Muhammad Syami Naim, and lastly Wan Afham Wafi.
We were given a situation to make an experiment about picking up sweets with 3 different flavors. Then we are going to observe how many possible flavors that will be picked to produce a random trial. We will also calculate the probability of each flavors that have been picked using experimental and theoretical probability that we have learned in class.
So the objective of study is, first, we need to measure the possible outcome flavor that can be picked up, and also to calculate the probability of randomly picked flavor with the replacement.
To conduct the experiment, we use the test switch with 3 different flavors in our experiment. The number of flavor grapes is 12, the number of flavor apple is 6, and the number of flavor strawberry is 14. The switch has been labeled as G for grapes, A for apple, and S for strawberry. Next, we randomly pick up the flavor of sweets for 30 trials with replacement. We record and write the possible outcome for each trial. Then, we need to calculate the experimental probability and theoretical probability for getting each flavor. And then, we compare the difference between the experimental probability and theoretical probability of obtain of flavor. From the experiment, we have picked up flavor grape for 12 times, apple for 8 times, and strawberry for 10 times. Next, we need to calculate the experimental probability. First of all, we need to know how to find the experimental probability. The formula is number of frequency divided by total number of trials, which is 30. For grape, the frequency is 12 divided by 30, we get 0.400. And for apple, the frequency is 8 divided by 30, we get 0.267. And strawberry, the frequency is 10 divided by 30, we get 0.333. And then we need to calculate the theoretical probability. The formula to calculate the theoretical probability is number of probable outcomes divided by total number of possible outcomes, which is 30. For grapes, the total number of flavor grapes is 10 divided by 30, we get 0.333. For apple, 6 divided by 30, we get 0.200. And strawberry, 14 divided by 30, we get 0.467.
Next, we need to find the difference between experimental probability and the theoretical probability of flavor grapes. The experimental probability of flavor grape is 40.00%, while the theoretical probability of flavor grape is 33.33%. So the difference is we need to subtract the experimental probability with theoretical probability. So the difference is 40.00% minus 33.33%, and we get the difference 6.67%. So now we are finding the difference between experimental probability and theoretical probability of obtaining flavor apple. Firstly, the experimental probability of obtaining apple is 26.70%, while the theoretical probability of obtaining apple is 20.00%. So the difference between experimental and theoretical probability is 26.70% minus 20.00% equal to 6.70%.
Next, we need to find the difference between experimental probability and theoretical probability of obtaining strawberries flavor. First, the experimental probability of obtaining strawberries flavor is equal to 33.33%. Second, the theoretical probability of obtaining strawberries flavor is equal to 46.70%. Hence, the difference between experimental probability and theoretical probability of obtaining strawberries flavor is equal to 46.70% minus with 33.32%, and we got 13.37%.
The probability of picking up the sweets that are not grapes flavor are equals to 1 minus 10 over 30, which is equals to 1 minus 1 over 3, which is equals to 0.633. Based on study, we can conclude that when doing experimental probability, the number of getting each flavors are not same as the theoretical probability. The most possible outcome that we get in our experiment is grape flavors, while the least possible outcome that we get in our experiment is apple flavors. What we can see from our observation and experiment, we can see that when doing experimental probability, it is much different than when doing theoretical probability. That's all from us. Thank you.